Hello, my name is Devin, also called by Infinite or Prod by Infinite, and today we finna hit another episode of Tutorial Tuesdays. Today we're gonna be covering the topic of arrangement, and I'm gonna address the topic real quick. I'm gonna address the title real quick. So for the title, it's not, arrange your beats like this, and you're immediately gonna be working with like Trippie Redd and Drake and stuff like that. You know what I mean? This is just how, like a typical format that you could make. So when you are sending beats to people, it makes it easier for them to get on the track and just go and just make a whole song like off rips. Like it's better arrangement just for rappers. It's just like a easy, typical format that you could do for them. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. This is actually my go-to way of arranging. If I just don't know what to do and I just need to arrange something real quick, I'm doing it just like this. This is like my go-to format. So typically what you would do is just go intro, hook, verse, hook, outro. This one I have an extra verse on here, but that's for a different reason. But generally 2 verses, 3 hooks, intro, outro, and you're good. For most people these days, you know what I mean? So typically I would work like beat making wise, I would make the hook first and just make all the sounds in there, because typically with the hook it's supposed to be the most energetic, the most climactic part of the song, you know what I mean? So I try to make the hook as best as I can, and then I just take those sounds and distribute them throughout the beat to make it to make the arrangement, you know what I mean? So with the I'm hella stuttering, bro. So with the hook, I'm gonna play it real quick for you. So it's just really full, you know what I mean? All right, so that's the hook. And then usually what I would do next is just work on the intro, and then I would work on the verse, and then I would just use things to transition each part. So if you know my music, or you've listened to my beats, if you heard songs I produced, I'm very big on transitions. And I just because I think it makes it easier for the artist from go to one part of the song to the other. You know what I mean? Excuse me. So usually with the hook, I would just take out the main melody that I think is the most important part, which I believe would be the flute melody. Dun, 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 dun. I just believe that was the main melody of the track, and everything else was just supporting the main melody. You know what I mean? So I take the main melody, I put it into the intro, and then I'll throw a couple effects on it, and then I'll do automation clips to get rid of those effects gradually, so that when the hook drops, it's almost like a completely different melody than the intro. You know what I mean? So for this instance, which is a typical thing that I do a lot, is an EQ to take out some of the frequencies, which I believe is this one. So this is just the regular radio preset, but then I just take down the 5 back to its normal default state. And I do that because it takes away a lot of the low end, it takes away a lot of the high end, and it just makes it seem almost deprived of what it actually could be. So when the hook drops and you bring back all those frequencies, it gives you a euphoric feeling. It feels full, you feel satisfied listening to it, you know what I mean? And then I also half-timed it. That's just to add variation. It's just a quick, easy way to change your melody into a different melody, but still keeping it similar enough to what the person's going to be hearing in the hook. You know what I mean? So the intro, its only purpose for the intro is just to lead up into the hook. That's all you need to worry about. So everything I'm doing is just to make the hook look good. You know what I mean? The hook's Michael Jordan, but then the intro is Scottie Pippen. You know what I mean? Just gotta make MJ look good. You feel me? That's hella disrespectful, but it's facts, low key. So what I did was the flute, the main melody, and then I took the little atmosphere and I also automated the volume to go up, so it like gradually fades in, and then it hits into the hook, and you finally get everything in the hook. And that was just like a little ear candy kind of thing. It's not necessary. It was just to make everything sound better. And then I also had the bass come in after 4 bars. So if you really notice and you like look at the beat and everything like that, something changes like every 4 bars, or like there's something different about every single 4 bars. Like this 4 bars, it's just like the regular. Then you got the bass come in, then it's the hook, and then you get the lead right here, and then like hell shit taken out right here, and then it's just something changes every 4 bars. So and that's like a good rule of thumb. When you're arranging beats, you don't want things to sit there and repeat too often. And I did say 4 bars here because I am working at 93 BPM, which is the halftime. If you're working at like 160, or if you're working at like 140 or something like that, double these numbers. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just first 4 bars, the main melody, and then my tag comes in right here.
Hey, go ahead, Infinite.
And luckily, like my tag, the way I made it is, it's also like a transition effect too. So I can use it to my advantage, and I can bring in sounds and use my tag to make it like a smoother transition to bring in other sounds. You know what I mean? So if you do have a tag, use it to your benefit. You know what I mean? Don't just put your tag anywhere. Make every single sound have a specific purpose. You know what I mean? And then next, going into the hook, we have these 2 risers right here. And all they do is just add suspense, so when it goes to the intro to the hook, it hits harder. You know what I mean? Like, let's just take them out real quick and just see how it hits. Like, it's cool, but like, it just sounds way doper with the effects right there, man. And then for the hook, usually I'll just repeat the hook over, and that's not usually like a bad thing to do, because with the hook, people are like singing on it, so it's okay to be a little repetitive through the hook. But this case, I did put a lead halfway through, and it's just because I wanted more variation. I didn't really think too much about it. It was just like, oh, that'd be cool if I did that. And then after that, it goes into the verse. And then this is like my little sauce. It's something I've been doing recently a lot, maybe like the past couple months, is that when the hook goes into the verse, I take out like all the drums for like the first bar. And I feel like it gives it like a cool effect. It makes everything kind of like atmosphere-y type stuff. I don't really know exactly how to explain it, but it just gives a cool effect. And usually when you're transitioning from like singing to rapping, and you get rid of all those sounds, and it's just the melody and the rapper, it kind of makes the rapping stand out more. You know what I mean? It kind of sets up the rapper to sound dope off rips. You know what I mean? So usually what I do to get that effect is I'll change up the melodies however I'm going to do it. In this case, I took the plucks and I just kept them going throughout the verse, and I took out the main melody. But the real trick to it is to take out all the drums and then have like a transition. Have a transition effect, or like right here, and have it kind of like bleed through. So like, listen to it real quick. See how it kind of like bleeds through and kind of like fades out? Like, that's like the trick to it right there. That's like what makes it sound dope, you know what I mean? And then after that break, you can do it for 1 bar, 2 bars, sometimes even 4 bars if you want. This case, I didn't really think about it too much. It was just like a creative choice. And I just did it 1 bar this time. But then after you do that, you want to slowly bring the drums back in. You don't want to just like completely like boom, boom, boom. Well, I mean, I guess you could, but with my style, like, I don't really think that's necessary. But yeah, just slowly bring them back in. Slowly bringing them back in. Then like a little mini drop. And then it goes through a low pass. And then it goes out of the low pass and it hits like a little 4 repeat thing. A little. And even though I'm doing the 4 count, I still got the risers right here. Because it still does the same effect. Even though you got the 4 count, and usually that's good enough. But if you got the risers underneath, it takes it to the next level, you feel me? And then it goes straight back into the hook. And then it basically repeats this for the rest of the song. And that's it. Another good tip that I found out recently, maybe in the past like 6 months, is that through the verse, like halfway through the verse, you need to switch things up so it can pick up energy again. So if we're going to be looking at this and we're going to give like a visual representation of it, it should go like intro, and then it should go hook, and then it should go like verse, and the verse should coast for a little bit, and then the verse should pick up energy maybe about halfway through. So I would say where this 25 mark is, it should like pick up energy a little bit, or like some things should happen where it's like majorly different than the first half of the verse, you know what I mean? And then it goes up, and then it kind of starts coming up again, and then it hits the peak where the hook is, and then you repeat after that, you know what I mean? So it kind of gotta be like a roller coaster of just like boom, woo, 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 type shit, you know what I mean? So that's usually how I arrange beats. And then I guess we can talk about the outro. Usually nothing special. It's just it's like the same effect from like the hook to the verse, but then I just like fade it out. Usually outro don't really matter too much like that, but yeah, man, the main important part is just intro, hook, verse, hook. Like as long as you can get those 4 parts down and you can make them all transition into each other very well, then you're solid, because then you can just repeat it over once or twice, and then you can just fade out the outro, and then you're solid, you know what I mean? So yeah, hopefully that helped y'all out. My name's Devin. I also go by Infinite or Prod by Infinite. Hopefully my chair wasn't too squeaky for you. And I'm out. Peace. Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot. Hey, if you found some type of value in this, hit a like, hit a comment, subscribe, or follow, depending on which platform you're watching this on. And that's it. Share it with a friend, bruh.